So I thought I'd give my thoughts on Lucas's diesel deep clean fuel additive and what my experience has been with using it. Not all paid endorsement. I'm not getting reimbursed or anything. Buy this with my own money and all. And not getting paid to say anything about it either way. What I will say, however, is that all last summer, well, every summer I'd haul a lawnmower trailer for the most part. And in the course of doing so, I do a lot of stop and go, mow lawn, drive 2 miles, mow lawn, drive 2 miles, that sort of thing, which with a DPF equipped diesel pickup is not exactly the greatest thing, which is why I try to use that guy for more of it now that's back on the road. Still need to do a video on that. But anyway, when I was doing that all last year with the 2014 here, I was getting a Dpf Full Message about every 2,000 miles, which is pretty high frequency. Not that the truck was malfunctioning in any way. All the systems were operating as they were designed to, and the thing went through a full regeneration cycle. The interesting thing about the message that pops up on the EVIC on this little screen right here between the gauges is that it'll initially pop up, in my case anyway, pop up with 100% full Dpf regeneration in progress, or regeneration in progress. I know some other people on the forums and whatnot, it'll pop up when it's only at 80 or 70 or 90% or something. Mine, it always popped up when it said 100% full. Just because, like I said, a lot of low speed driving, short stops, idling, worst case scenario for these trucks. I mean, they designed the systems essentially for guys who haul heavier loads long distance on like a highway or something. I mean, that's pretty much ideal conditions for one of these vehicles with emissions intact. So I was getting a full message every 2,000 miles, and once it ticked down at 10% increments until it got down to 70%. Once it got down below that, it would ding and say Regeneration Complete. The thing is that the regeneration isn't actually complete. It's just down below a threshold to where it'll trigger the message to go away. It's still cooking away under there, and so, which is very evident when you get out of the truck, and it just stanks, and you hear that DEF injector ticking like a bastard, and you can go over by the exhaust pipe and all but have your hairs burned off from whatever body part you stick near there. On the other hand, these trucks still do active regens, which is what that is classified as when the message pops up. They still do active regens, but they don't always trigger the message. They only trigger the message when the DPF gets particularly full and it needs to really cook itself. I'm not sure whether or not there's any difference in how it cooks out when you get the message versus not, but now that I've got the Insight monitor on here, it has a little light that displays, obviously the screen's not on right now, but it has a little light that turns green on top there. And one of the parameters I have, I really should turn the screen on so I can reference this. So now I've got my reference on. That little sort of bar you can see right above the downward pointing arrow on top of the screen, that'll turn green when it's in active regeneration, and also where it says DPF stat off, it would now say DPF stat on when it's in regeneration. But if you don't have one of these in the truck, then you would never know that anything's going on, which is kind of how it's designed to work and everything, to where it's very seamless and nobody freaks out. And no, you're just supposed to love all these emissions things on these diesels. They're just great. Anyway, I'll shut her back off because I don't want to idle. So anyway, long story long, I picked this bottle of this stuff up last summer at what was it, Tractor Supply is where I've been getting it. It's, what is it, like $14 a bottle or something, and I use it about every third fuel tank. And so far, my last Dpf Full Message that I got was at, what, a little over 24,000 miles. I had taken to using my cell phone, taking a picture of the screen every time I got a message, just so I could sort of catalog each time it occurred, since it's kind of a... If you're using the truck as intended by the engineers who designed the whole works and whatnot, you theoretically aren't supposed to be getting one of these messages. But if you use it as a truck and just sort of like as a do-all vehicle, then you will end up eventually getting one of these messages popping up. Like I said, that last full message was at a little over 24,000. What have I got now? 35,245. And I have not had another message. Now my driving habits have not changed. I have been using that a little bit more, but not totally, because it's got about 1,000,001 things that are kind of wrong with it. So, hello people wondering what I'm doing with the camera. Hi. Anywho, so I really haven't changed my driving habits. The only variable that's changed is the addition of this to, roughly, like I said, roughly every third fuel tank. So, I don't know. It seems to be helping, I guess. I don't think it's really hurting anything. The whole more power claim that they make up there at the top. Can I get that to focus? There we go. Yeah, I haven't experienced any more power, I would say, out of this truck. That doesn't seem to be affected in the least. The only difference that I've found by using this is that I don't get the Dpf Full Messages popping up on the eVic like I did before, and like I said, driving habits haven't changed. If it were me, I'd much rather that you could still buy a truck like that, which is a 2001 24 valve with not a damn thing on it. I mean, no EGR, no DPF, no SCR, no WTF, LOL, OMG, all that friggin' acronym nonsense. So in conclusion, if you're looking for an additive to help out in getting rid of soot, this one seems to work. I know there are a couple other on the market. I don't have any experience in them. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions on what I've used and what seems to work for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, and obviously if you use it, it's to your own risk and your own truck and everything. So yeah, until I am able to rip the crap off this thing, I guess I'll be giving her a drink of this.